Alright, looks like we're going. So, okay. So I've been streaming a lot of Illusion Connect recently, and I've just gotten to the part where I think I'm starting to properly get into the game. I've been trying out the, what do you call it, like the challenge mode? What's it called? The Arcana mode, I think it is. Which sort of functions a bit like a, I don't know, like a quest mode, I guess. You sort of get power-ups and so on. And that's what really has gotten me into the game a lot more recently. So I wanted to make a nice little video about you know, which characters I like out of all of them. I'll use this little tier list maker here. I'll be ranking them on, I don't know, a bit of a mix, I guess. I'll explain them as I go through, but you know, so it wouldn't just be ranked on like, you know, how good they are, because I'm also not like obviously the best player. I'm not like a particularly good player at this game yet. But it's just that by doing the quest mode, the dream mode, well, Arcana mode, that was it. I've sort of gotten a bit more of an appreciation for how the different characters work, and you know, I really like the mode. It lets you plan out your lineup and upgrades and things, and also gets you more shards, which allow you to work towards the characters you want to get. As well as try out the characters that you don't have yet. I really like it. That said, so I don't know all the characters' names yet, unfortunately. There's, I don't know, I'm still getting used to them. I've been focusing on, you know, the squad of characters that I have actually pulled, so I'll do them first. But I've also got the game itself open up in another tab if I need to check the names. But because for some reason it's really hard to find a list of the character names just laid out that's not like a tier list or divided up into the different sections. You know, it'd be nice to just have a pictures of the character with a name next to him in alphabetical order, and I can just go through that. Anyway. So let's start. The top character. Who's the top character on my list? I have Karaya. Right here. She does really good. This list is a bit long. Can I delete some of these? Yeah, delete row. Like, I don't think, yeah, we don't really need like 3 different S ones. And an extra B+. And I'll add in a... add in a 0. I thought I got rid of the A+. Delete. And add a row below. Okay, so yeah, I think Karaya, gosh, I'm kind of tempted to put her up in S tier. I really like using her. Yeah, her ability is like really simple. It's just a shield for the, was it the row or the column? Yeah, the line of characters standing behind her, which, I don't know, the game keeps, I feel, well, I may be incorrect, but I often feel like the game just gets rows and columns mixed up. Columns are typically vertical and rows are horizontal. Like, for example, here I have the S row, A row, B, C, and D rows. Those are rows, and this here is a column. But in the game, it turns them around, which is a bit weird. It kind of makes sense because of like the perspective of the characters, but anyway. But yes, Karaya's, you know, really reliable, really simple to use. The extra shield has, you know, basically she helps, you know, shield whoever I need protected, which is really what I want out of a defender. And he also does damage. Yeah, it's good for like sniping off, what do you call it? Sniping off any assassins that happen to be vulnerable whilst he's doing it. But I think I prefer to put her in like a row where protection will benefit, except in like some circumstances where I really want to get someone, you know, where I really want to kill an enemy before they get healed. Next up on the list is Miyuki. Miyuki, here we go. I think she was like the first AoE character that I got. well, that I actually started using. I think I had a few others actually, but I don't know, that was still while I was figuring out the game, and I didn't know which characters to use yet. But she's super great. She helps me like survive a lot longer, and also does like a fair amount of damage. But also, she's mainly good for, well, stalling out enemies that have really nasty abilities, because there's a lot of characters I really don't want their abilities to go off. I mean, I'll go over them a bit more when I come across them while doing this list. But yeah, if like, you know, for example, like Karai, if I'm worried about her dropping down a shield, which means I can't nuke down the enemy boss, I can just drop her and she can't shield anymore. Well, it doesn't have enough power to shield. Next up is Mei. Where's Mei? I'm gonna put her at B. She does what I want her to. Like, you drop it down and she finishes off an enemy that's on low health, which is surprisingly really nice, especially once, I don't know, now they've gotten to a bunch of levels that have a whole load of healers, and the healers are really irritating to deal with, because, you know, you'll almost kill someone. They're also tough enough that I can't just straight up kill them a lot of the time, so I need to combo several ultimate abilities, which you get when you deploy the character. And Mei is good for finishing off one of those. Who's next? Sashiko. Sashiko. Where is she? Here she is. I'm putting her as B as well. So her and Karat are like my main two tanks. I don't really have a lot of other ones. Yeah, Sachiko's good. She has a shield which I quite like. It gives her the extra little bit of staying power. Especially if she gets her ability off more than once. She doesn't really do a lot of damage, so that's why I'm putting down that B tier. She's meant to count. I mean, she would counter like, you know, attackers or whatever they are, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like she does a lot. She does a lot of damage, and you know, I just put her there as like a roadblock basically. Saya. Yeah, Saya's. Oops, I'm putting Saya up in S tier. I really like her. I don't know. She's cool looking. She has like, I think the most story out of all the characters I've unlocked so far. Being one of the heroines who you're supposed to be able to upgrade them to SSR, which I have for Saya, but the other ones you have to progress further in the story, so I haven't gotten to them yet. But yeah, she's super reliable. I drop her down and she kills someone. I don't know. I'm hoping that once she gets up to higher levels or something, her insta-kill power becomes a bit more reliable. I'm assuming that's what like the sec kill thing that's described as her ultimate is supposed to be. Yeah, she's just all around pretty cool. Jemmy. Where is she? There she is. I'm gonna put her in A. She's a lot like Saya. I use her a lot in the same way, but she's kind of a bit safer for me for earlier deployments because she's got that lifesteal. And also, she can survive one, like, death, basically, and then heal up from it. Which is... So, I don't know, how to put it? She's a bit safer, because it means that if the... Particularly in the Arcana mode that I was talking about, where the enemy has a limited amount of deployments and they don't just randomly spawn enemies all the time like they do in the main game. She's good for, firstly, picking off an enemy when she comes in, and then also dealing a bit of damage if she gets bursted down or something. And also if I don't know what the enemy's about to deploy, I can throw her down and the enemy... And then if the enemy suddenly drops down an assassin or something and kills her, it's not a huge loss, because she'll just come back from it. She also does loads of damage. Like, I think the only reason I've ranked Saya above her is that Saya's like a lot cheaper in terms of cost. So I can use her a lot more. Because, yeah, Saya is at the moment 10 cost and Jemmy is 17. So, it makes her really easy to use. Or real difficult, I suppose. Who's next? Hato. Hato... I don't know. I'm gonna put her in B. I quite like the character. And I've tried to use her a few times just because I like her, but I haven't really been able to get a lot out of her, since, especially now that I've got other characters like Miyuki who are a bit better at the AoE thing. I think she's sort of got like some specific counters, but I'm not quite, I don't know, at the level where I can get the most use out of her. And at the moment it's more important for me just to have like some raw damage. Next up, Gagaku. There we go. I think she's also going to be B. Like, she does a decent amount of damage, and I swapped out Nina for her pretty early on. And the summoning thing is also quite nice in some of the story mode lineups, because she can take out like a row of enemies and then summon the wolves to protect you, which will also deal damage. So even if the enemy brings an AoE character, they'll still end up blowing themselves up. And she's also just really nice to have against, I don't know, characters like Saki, who will eat you alive. But also, I have also found her a bit tricky to use, because at the same time, if I end up summoning her late, the field is too full, and like if I've already got my defenders set up in the front row, and I summon her, the wolves won't get killed, or foxes? I think they might be foxes actually. But they won't get killed, and that'll just leave my field blocked up, so I can't deploy someone else when I need to. Like, yeah, I might be, oh, I want to use healing, but there's nowhere to deploy a healer. Oh, I need some AoE damage now, or I need that character, you know, killed by like, yeah, like with my me. And I can't do that. Speaking of which, that was the other thing about Mei, I remember, is that because she has an on-death ability, she's also a bit safer to play early if the enemy has someone I need like to get rid of right at the start of the round. Now, who's next? Yuffie. Yuffie, I'm gonna put an A tier as well. She doesn't seem, so far she hasn't felt as good as Miyuki. She does like the same kind of thing. Like, does a decent, like a pretty chunky amount of damage to everyone on the field, and that's it really. Heresy. I'm gonna put her in B. I think, yeah, she does like a whole, again she does a whole lot of damage. This is, I think at the moment, while I'm still learning the game, I'm still, you know, more preferring to use the characters I've had a little bit longer, because I only got her recently. I think in my last stream or something actually. I still prefer to use Saya or Jemmy, or even Karaya, or even Mei. Like because these are the characters I'm familiar with. Whenever I'm up against a challenge and I'm like, oh, I need to deal with these enemies quickly, who do I add to my team? I think, you know, Saya, Jemmy, or Mei. Next on the list. Oh, but she's also got that anti-Tease Knight specific characters, which is, I feel like it's definitely going to be useful once I start remembering to use her more. Especially if I want to get rid of characters like Guffy or Miyuki. No. I can't remember which class they are, but like, yeah, casters. I think she targets casters. Next up is Penny. Who is here somewhere? There she is. I'm gonna put her here. How do I put it? I don't use her very much. I just think Penny's cool. Yeah, mostly I just like her as a character. But she also, you know, she shoots things. She does what she's supposed to. Pan. Is here somewhere. There we go. I think again, yeah, like Heresy, she's pretty cool looking. I still haven't gotten used to using her either. She's another character I haven't gotten recently. As I recall, her abilities are good if you deploy her like pretty early. So I think if there's someone that, you know, you need to deal with straight away, she could be good. But I don't know. I'm still sort of doing that blindly rushing through the maps a lot of the time. So I don't know, I'm just trying to clear as many stages as possible, so I'm not at the point where I'm thinking about using her too much. Mia. Where is she? There she is. Again, I'm putting her in B because I like how she looks, but I like never use her. Let me put her in C actually. If I'll see somehow a little. Amon. Amon I quite like. I think I got to the point where I was having trouble with healers, and then I pulled Amon and figured I'd try her out. Give me a second. Yes, and I figured I'd try her out. And her revival ability is quite good. Like, it's... how do I put it? A lot of the time, I'm not quite familiar with the character's, like, the turn timings and how it works. So a lot of the time a character might be about to go down, and so I drop down a healer, but it's not time for the healer to be deployed yet. And so the enemy, it's still like the enemy's turn or something, and they'll finish off the character I was trying to heal, and then my healer will come in and heal someone completely different, or, basically won't successfully save the character I want to save. But Amon does that because it's a straight up revive. Like, it's a random character, and I think she also works best when used on tanks, because it seems like the way the behavior works is that she'll deploy the revived character as close to the front row as possible and close to the center. That seems to be how it works, or at least like in the front row of the row that Amon got deployed in. So I don't know, she's interesting. But that said, when I have been playing the Arcana mode, I haven't used her very much. But I think, if you can reliably keep her in play, in hand, to use on a tank, she can be really useful. Gigi. This one, I don't know. I never use her. Yeah, again, when it, I'm not quite sure what she does, but I think it uses like a single target damage dealer, and again I usually just go with one of these three for that. I mean, I feel like someone's going to come along and tell me that, she's actually super good or something, which she might be, but also, I don't know. I don't really mind. Annie, I'm going to put in B tier. I used her a bit in the Arcana mode, and she's alright, but I just ended up not using her very much because of like, I feel like Karaya's shield and Sachiko's shields are a bit more useful for me. Next up, Beatrice. I'm gonna put her in A. I don't end up using her very much. Like, she's a character I want to use more. But I usually end up using like Miyuki or Yofi at the moment for AoE damage. But she also looks pretty cool. Nicola. Gosh. I think I'm gonna put her in C after all. Just like the first SSR I ended up getting, I think, or maybe it was Corral. And I don't know, she's pretty nice at what she does, but I don't know. She feels a bit too tricky to use, at least at the moment. And I don't know, doesn't seem to do markedly more damage than like Miyuki or even Yuffie. I'm going to put her in C as well. I've never really used her very much. I think the puppet thing is interesting, and it's nice to have like puppets that actually have some hit points, unlike Gagaku. But I don't know, again, I just sort of tend to use Gagaku instead when I need to, deal with enemies with single target attacks. Polly. Polly I quite like. Where's she? I don't know, she's pretty cool, and also, I don't know, it's a nice way to inject a little healing into the lineup. But I still have a bit of trouble using healers at the moment, which is why I end up going with them on a lot. But I don't know, I like Polly. Jasmine. I don't really use Jasmine very much. I ended up using Polly more. But that's it. When I come up against her in the PvE, I end up getting sniped a lot, which is a bit unfortunate. I think, yeah, probably. I mean, I anticipate that if I do this in like another month or two, maybe in a year, a lot of these will switch around as I get used to different characters. But again, this is just my my 1 month impressions. Shio. Shio I'm putting in B. I think she's one of the characters I'm kind of inclined to use if I need her, but she's not part of my general lineup. Carol. I don't really use Carol. Again, for the same reasons as all the other single target characters. Same thing with Mary, who's the next one. Button Maru. This guy is the what do you call it? He's like the IDW of this game. He's the Kent. The what's the other game I play? Arknights. The Cruz. I don't know. He feels like kind of a mean character. He's not. It's not that he's not dangerous, but I don't know. He just sort of turns up all the time. Turns up all the time, and I don't want to use him. Tiffany. I'm gonna put Tiffany in C. She's got. Which one was she? She's one with the counter effect, I think. She's good against. Yeah, she's good against summoned characters, like summoned monsters. So she'd probably be good against like Anne, or to a lesser extent Gargaku, I guess. But the thing is that I usually, and a lot of summons so far that I've come across will still just get beaten by like Miyuki or Yofi. And so her ability to instant kill them hasn't been very useful so far. Alice. I don't know. I know another character I never really used at all. So I can't. I think she might be one of the characters I've used like the least. I also encountered the least. I don't really have much to say about her and everything of it. I'll have a quick look at her abilities. Okay, so she's kind of like a single target attacker with some support abilities. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out she has some broken combos with some other character. Like, I don't know, maybe Saya or something. Diamond. Diamond I'm gonna put here. I swapped out Polly for her for healing, but she never seemed to do it as well. Which was kind of bizarre. It might just be my personal experience, or... Because I've got all the characters that I have, which are the ones I've been going through so far, they're all at like level 60. It might have been like the Star Link thing, which, I don't know, may have made a difference. But I don't know, she's just been constantly kind of underwhelming in terms of healing. Rikia. She's a character I tried out a few times for AoE, but I never really use her. Again, her damage seems a bit too low for me. Like, how do I put it? I don't think her damage is bad per se, and she also inflicts the debuffs. But it's just that it's the difference between, like, at the current level that I'm at. The curses may be more useful at higher levels, but at the current level I'm at, it's more useful. Or rather, the difference between her and like Miyuki or Yuffie is that those two will kill the thing they're AoEing, and she doesn't. And so I don't end up using her very much. Flora. Where's Flora? Again, I don't know. Flora seems neat. And she's also got, and a bit like Demi, she's got the ability to sort of come back once she gets beaten. But again, I never really use her. Laura. Where's Laura? Yeah, I'm also going to put her in this level. Yeah, just like another low rarity tank character who I don't use very much. He's kind of neat looking, I guess. Yeah, but again, I just don't never use her. Shanti. Oh, I don't use her very much, but when she turns up in a PvE mission, I just get really sad because she's just gonna sit there and I can't do anything about her because you can't do anything to her for the first 15 seconds after she gets deployed. Like, she's an example of a character I could see being kind of useful in like stalling games or something. It's also like relatively cheap, she's only like 8 cost. 8 cost? Yeah, 8 cost. I can see it being really useful just for that invulnerability. I suppose even more so if you expect to come up against like a bunch of yeah, really high single target damage. And also if you're up against the boss and you see their meter filling up and it's almost full, you just drop her down until she can probably eat the hit. I can see a lot of uses for her actually. I might try and use her a bit more, but I don't know, at the moment it feels like my main problem isn't endurance, it's just dealing damage. Who's next? Rie. I don't know, she's kind of neat looking. And she's turned up in PvE a few times with like that powered up attack or something, which seemed really nasty. But she's also, I don't know, not been particularly strong. So she's mostly just in B because she seems kind of neat. Nina. Another character I'm going to put in B. I quite like her and I tried to use her a lot. I don't know, I get a feeling like she dies too easy. She seems really squishy. And a bit tricky to use. I might come, but I'll probably take another look at her later on, once I get the thing that allows you to make her an SSR, once she gets like a bit of a power up. Victoria, I think also in B. She's got that taunt, which is, I don't know, I don't use it very much, but I suppose like Shanti, her with that taunt can become really strong, and when I've come up against her, she's been really nasty. If you deploy her in like an off lane, like if you're deploying your characters in like the middle and the bottom rows, and you stick her up top, that does a lot of protection against column, they're called column attacks, against a lot of attacks. Natalie? I'm putting her in A. I really like her. I don't know, she just seems really neat. Yeah, I don't think I've ended up not using her very much recently, but she's like, I don't know, the character. I don't know, the guy I really like a lot. I might give this a bit of a rejig before I move on to the characters that I don't have. Yeah, she goes up in S tier. I'll put Amon up in S. I'll put Yuki up in S. I'll put. I keep forgetting if her name is Mia or Mai. May. Alright, I just got it wrong on all counts. Yeah, put her there. Put Hato here. Put Nina here. I think the rest of it seems about alright. Okay, now for the characters I don't have. Okay, where's this list? I have tried them out a few times, and I've also come across them a lot in the PvE. I tried them out in the Arcana mode, as I mentioned, where you can unlock the characters and give them a go. Fenabeth. Where is she? She's one I'm really excited to try out. She's really cool looking, and I like the anti-heal. Yeah, she's gonna go up there. I tried getting her in the recent banner, but I didn't end up pulling her. Diana. No, that's not Diana. Which one's Diana? This one. Yeah, I'm gonna put her in C. I mean, I don't know. Healers don't seem that... so far healers haven't been super useful to me in this game. Particularly when you're trying to clear the story mode and it's just like, oh no, clear it in 120 seconds. And healers, while they help clear the mode overall, they're not... I don't know. How do I put it? I don't know, healers just don't seem super useful to me so far. They're... like, you have to heal when you drop them, which is nice. But then if you want them to heal again, they have to survive a long time. And build meter, which is... it's hard to keep them alive, since they're really squishy. And also they heal more the more damage they take because of their rage mechanic. I think that's how the rage mechanic works. That seems to be how it works. But I don't know. I never seem to be able to get them to heal more than like once per deployment, and that's when I deploy them. Maki, yeah, we're happiness. I don't think. Yeah, she's just really cool looking. She's really nice to use in the what is it, the Arcanum mode, and also is like really tough to go up against. Because I don't know, yeah, I haven't used her a lot. And I have to like properly look into what how her ability actually works. But you know, she'll do like an attack which will one-hit someone, and then she'll just keep doing it like 3 times, which makes her amazing at like taking out enemies and leaders, and yeah, really nasty. She also just looks really cool. Camille. Camille, I don't know, I'm putting him in C tier. Doesn't seem to... there's like a Thorns effect, which, I don't know, I'm not super sold on. And doesn't, that never seemed to be very useful. Selena. I'm gonna put her here. I haven't gotten to use her very much. I do like a tank that can also heal your leader. Yeah, like I said, I don't like healers on their own, but she's quite tanky. So I can use her as a frontliner, and she'll also heal the leader, which is also really nice, and provides like a strong single target damage thing, which I'm looking forward to. The only thing is I don't have a lot of actual experience with her, but she sounds really useful in theory. Ashwaya. I'm gonna put her in B. I think she looks really cool, and I like the way that her ability just fills up the entire field, and she's a real pain to fight against. But I mean, I think it's probably because I haven't gotten to use her yet, really. But well, and I've also already got Gagaku, who fills up the field acceptably. And also, some summoners are just a bit tricky to use. Like, I think the really easy one uses like Anne here, but these two are a bit trickier. Like, it seems really nice to be able to drop her down and just fill out the entire field right at the start of a battle. But I don't know. I'll have to give her a bit more of a try. Phoebe. I'm gonna put her over here. She seems basically like Miyuki. Except, I don't know. Yeah, she seems basically like Miyuki. She's got like a comeback from death thing. It's all very nice. But she doesn't have like the anti-meter ability that Miyuki has, which is a real lifesaver. Edward. Where's Edward? Oh wait, actually, really, where is he? No, that's not him. Anyway, I don't know, I'd probably put Edward in the sea. I haven't really come across him at all. What's he doing? Okay, so he does like an anti-buff thing. Yeah, I probably would put him here, and I probably wouldn't use him very much. Like, I think if you're worried about enemies having lots of buffs, but they don't seem to be like, I don't know, a huge amount of buffs that are super worth removing yet. Well, yet at any rate. I don't know. Maybe stealing Taunt could be nice, I guess. That's about it. Kasumi. She's also pretty neat looking. I keep getting mixed. I used to get her mixed up with Maki a lot, but she's the column damage one. Baroness. I don't like him. Like, I don't like using him, and also, I don't know, he's a real pain to fight against. Like, I don't know, he just turns up and is like, yeah, I'm just hit everything on your field. That's just like a general thing with the Ouroboros characters. They just all have AoE damage. They all either have like full screen, like full field AoE, or full field summon. They seem super good, but like, gosh. Anna. I don't know. I usually like the idle tag characters, but I don't know. On the one hand, I've never really used her, and on the other hand, healers are a bit janky at the moment. Enforcers. We have put this. At the moment, whenever I come across them, they seem kind of busted. Like, actually kind of broken. I've never gotten to use them. They haven't turned up in any of my Arcanum runs. But every time they turn up as like a PvE thing, I basically have to try and like burst down the enemy leader before their ability goes off, because if their ability goes off, I just lose. Because basically they summon, like with their ability, they'll summon a character, in addition to doing a whole load of damage and probably killing one of my characters, they summon this tank who is super tanky and has taunt, and she's tanky enough that I haven't seemed to be able to kill her before the ability comes back up. Like, even on how do you call it, missions where my power level should be like substantially higher than the expected one, I have not been able to burst down that tank before they're able to resummon the tank. And the tank just comes back with full hit points, and the taunt, and like the barrier and all that jazz. And yeah, at that point it's basically just me trying to use AoE or column attacks to try and snipe off the enemy leader before like I lose. They seem kind of crazy, really. It was a bit less bad in the Arcana when they showed up, but also I don't know, it's a bit weird. When they showed up in the Arcana, they weren't so bad, but it's still quite tough, and I basically had to drop everything to try and focus them down. Who's next? Rotania. I think she's pretty cool looking. She has like a cool laser effect and does loads of damage. I don't have. I got to use her a few times. I got to use her a few times in the Arcana thing. She's pretty fun. I'm looking forward to getting her. Angela. I'm gonna put her in B mostly because she looks really cool with like the sort of sci-fi shield and sword thing. But also, I don't know, she's a defender. She sits there and blocks hits. And their ability is to block hits even harder. I don't know, how do I feel it? How do I put this? She's probably not bad, she's just kind of like unimpressive, I guess. Who's next? Hotaru. Is that the one with the column attack? Yeah, I don't know. Hotaru I'll just put down and see. I don't know. She's never really seemed very special at all when I've come across her. That might change once I actually have her, but yeah, she just sort of shows up and is like, hey, I'm here, and I don't know. It's kind of like Nina, but without the character. Frantifa. She looks kind of cool. Has that summon? I think she has a summon thing or something when she dies. Yeah. She's interesting. Yeah, I don't think I've gotten to use her. She's a bit of a problem when she turns up because, you know, because of the thing where you have to first kill her and she's fairly tanky. And then you have to kill all of her, like, shadow clones. Who's next? Ming. This sheet here doesn't have Ming, but I don't know, again, she's a healer, and she's just kind of like, yeah, healers are nice. I mean, healers are there, they exist. I would probably put her in, I don't know, a bee. Because she has a, like a ferret or something. Hatsishiki. What does she do? I don't know, I think I'd probably put her in C as well. Just go. Yeah, she's just kind of there. And lastly, Brooke. Oh. I didn't know, apparently I missed Vivian, who I do have. Firstly, let's see what Brooke does. It does. Yeah, that's right. She does and supports Guardians. I kind of want to put her in B because she looks pretty cool, but I don't think I'd ever use her ability very much. Again, I'll put Vivian somewhere. I do end up using her a lot. Her ability is like quite nasty on the attack, and also. Yeah, so you'll play another character really cheap right after, so he's good for filling out the board early on. And also, that makes her a bit more tanky. She's a character I'm kind of... She feels a bit tricky to use though. I don't know, I like her enough, I'll put her in A. Yeah, she seems super interesting because of that cost reduction ability. I just have to sort of get a bit better at using it. Like the cost reduction and the defense buff. I think because the defense buff is a bit variable, let me check what it does. But it makes it a bit hard for me to work out, you know, how risky it will be for me to put her on the front. Yeah, it boosts her defense by 50% for 3 rounds, which is, on the one hand is quite strong, but also it makes it a bit weird to play her early because, I mean, I don't know. I suppose it does give her enough like staying power until you know, you can feel like you'll feel it a bit more. And also when I come across her in fights early on, she's been quite tough and has been able to snipe out my units pretty effectively. So I should probably use her a bit more. I'll just move her back to the characters I actually have. Yep, there we go. Okay, so yes, this is my tier list. I think overall the ones that stand out to me, the Enforcers seem stupid good. Like just having a resummonable tank. Like, having a tank that you can resummon just over and over seems super good. Especially if you put them themselves in a hard to reach place. Or like if you slapped them down behind like Karaya, it just sort of win you, like that probably win you the game. Pretty simple. Yeah, and Maki also really, like, on top of being really cool looking, I don't know, her ability to stand out to me as being really dangerous, especially since it retargets. So if she does her ability like 1, 2, or 3 times, usually 2 or 3 times, she'll target, if you finish off the enemy with the first hit, she'll target someone else with the second one, and so on and so on. Anyway, that's my initial impressions. I suppose they'll probably change over time. A lot of characters I don't use or haven't gotten really much of a chance to use. But yeah, we'll see how things go. I'll probably do a bit of a stream with that Arcana mode. I feel like I forgot the name of it after. No, it is Arcana mode. Might do a stream with that tomorrow or something. And I expect someone in the comments is going to tell me like who this character is, and like, you know, why it is that secretly, I don't know, someone else is super good or something. Well, why healers are good once you get to, I don't know, maybe once you get to higher levels or something. Anyway, that's going to be all for today. Thanks for watching.